Have you ever heard of a king blessed with unparalleled wisdom, yet brought down by his passion for 1,000 women? This is the story of Solomon, the wisest, richest, and most powerful king in biblical history. His reign transformed Israel into a thriving kingdom, yet his fascination with women was his Achilles heel. How could a man so gifted allow this desire to cloud his judgment? Despite every gift and opportunity to be Israel's greatest king, Solomon ultimately became one of its most troubled. Granted wisdom by God, Solomon built Israel into a prosperous kingdom, establishing powerful trade networks and alliances. But his massive harem, 700 wives and 300 concubines, each carried not only their own beauty and culture, but also their gods. Imagine a palace filled with princesses from Egypt, Moab, Edom, and Sidon, each representing different lands and beliefs. Every woman brought a piece of her homeland into the court, creating a magnificent cultural mosaic. Yet these alliances weren't without consequence. They introduced foreign gods, challenging Israel's pure faith. Could this harem of 1,000 women really be the cause of Solomon's downfall? In this video, we'll dive into Solomon's story, tracing his journey from his legendary wisdom to his tragic end. Was he truly able to control his inner conflicts? What legacy did he leave for Israel after his death? And how did his choices affect the kingdom? Stay tuned as we unravel this tale, beginning in ancient Jerusalem, around 990 BC, with the birth of a prince named Solomon. Solomon's life began shrouded in a dark chapter. He was born from the union between King David and Bathsheba, a relationship marked by adultery. Bathsheba, then married to Uriah the Hittite, a valiant soldier, was drawn into David's secret. To hide his transgression, David sent Uriah to the front lines, where he met a tragic fate. But God saw all, and David faced divine judgment for his actions, losing his firstborn son with Bathsheba. Yet amid the sorrow, God showed mercy, and Solomon was born, a symbol of reconciliation between heaven and earth. Growing up, Solomon was mentored by the prophet Nathan, a figure of wisdom and insight. Under Nathan's guidance, Solomon absorbed profound teachings as Nathan envisioned a remarkable destiny for him. Knowing that Solomon was not David's eldest son, Nathan carefully advocated for him, planting the seed in David's heart that Solomon was meant to rule. When David neared death, he formally named Solomon as his successor. At just 15, Solomon's reign began under the shadow of potential rivals. Determined to secure his throne, he launched a decisive purge, eliminating threats, including Joab, his father's chief general, and Adonijah, who had also sought the throne. So, as we explore Solomon's complex legacy, consider this. How does wisdom coexist with weakness? Could his life have ended differently if he had heeded his own teachings? Join us in uncovering the timeless lessons of this legendary king. Have you ever heard of a king so wise, so rich, yet ultimately undone by his own desires? This is the story of Solomon, a ruler known for his unmatched wisdom, who transformed Israel into a powerful kingdom. However, his attraction to women from foreign lands led him down a complex and ultimately destructive path. Why did such a wise man make choices that led to his downfall? How did his decisions impact Israel's future? Let's journey into the heart of Solomon's story, exploring the choices that shaped him and the lessons his life offers us today. God blessed Solomon with profound wisdom, a gift that elevated Israel's prestige and attracted leaders from distant lands. Solomon's court was filled with princesses and noblewomen from across the world, an exotic array of 700 wives and 300 concubines. These alliances initially brought peace and prosperity, but they came at a high cost. Along with these women came foreign gods and customs that gradually shifted the kingdom's spiritual center. Solomon's wisdom became renowned far beyond Israel's borders. He was famous for his fair and discerning judgments, none more iconic than when two women claimed to be the mother of a child. In a masterstroke of insight, Solomon ordered the child be divided, which revealed the true mother by her willingness to give up her child to save its life. This remarkable display of wisdom earned him admiration throughout Israel. But despite his wisdom, Solomon's ambition pushed him to form more alliances through marriage, and with each union came new influences and spiritual compromises. Did these choices slowly erode the values upon which his kingdom was built? Solomon's lavish lifestyle and the monumental projects he undertook, including the 7-year construction of the Jerusalem temple, were symbols of Israel's golden age. However, his own palace, a magnificent architectural feat, took 13 years to build, highlighting his growing focus on personal grandeur. One of Solomon's most memorable visitors was the Queen of Sheba, a ruler from a distant land who had heard of his legendary wisdom and wealth. She arrived with grand gifts, testing him with difficult questions. Impressed by his answers and the splendor of his court, she acknowledged that Solomon's wisdom and prosperity were even greater than she had imagined. This encounter marked a high point in his reign and showcased Israel's prosperity under his leadership. But was all this prosperity a true reflection of spiritual success? Solomon's endless wealth, the gold-plated throne, and his legendary treasure stores created a kingdom of extraordinary riches. Yet, beneath the surface, the compromises Solomon made began to show their impact. Foreign idols crept into Israel, and the once pure faith of the kingdom became diluted with outside influences. This is a story of ambition, wisdom, and the dangers of unchecked desires. Did Solomon's choices plant the seeds for future division in Israel? Could he have sustained his kingdom's greatness without compromising his values? Solomon's journey holds powerful lessons, challenging us to consider how our ambitions and choices align with our core beliefs. Join us as we delve deeper into the legacy of one of history's most fascinating kings, one whose life warns us of the delicate balance between wisdom and desire. Imagine walking through a palace where every drinking vessel and table setting is pure gold, silver, barely worth mentioning in King Solomon's time. Yet Solomon wasn't just wealthy. He was wise, and not by ordinary standards. Inspired by God, he captured divine wisdom in writings that have spanned centuries. His books, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Songs, are more than ancient words. They're timeless treasures guiding us even today. Have you ever wondered how wisdom from over 3,000 years ago still applies to our lives? In Proverbs, Solomon offers insights like, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom." His writings urge us to look deeper, to find purpose beyond the chaos of daily life. In Ecclesiastes, he reflects on life's fleeting nature, teaching us to fear God and keep his commandments. And in Song of Songs, Solomon poetically celebrates love, a love so powerful it's strong as death. These reflections make us pause. What really matters in our short time here? But Solomon's journey wasn't just wisdom and splendor. It was complex, and he faced pitfalls. Despite God's warnings, he succumbed to the allure of foreign women, amassing a harem that led him down a dangerous road. This wasn't merely personal, it shaped Israel's history. His foreign alliances and multiple marriages brought a flood of foreign deities into Jerusalem, risking the monotheistic foundation of Israel. Solomon, the king who built the magnificent temple for God, was soon building altars for foreign gods. Could the wisest man in history lose his way? God, seeing Solomon's divided heart, warned him, "I will most certainly tear the kingdom away from you." This was no idle threat. Disobedience brought division, and even as Solomon repented, the damage had been done. His writings in Ecclesiastes reflect this struggle, saying, "Everything is meaningless. Have we too chased after things that left us empty? Solomon's legacy lives on, not just in his wisdom, but in the cautionary tale of his life. We're reminded that even the wisest can falter when they stray from God's path. And there's more. Legends tell that Solomon wielded a magical ring given by the archangel Michael, granting him power over demons. Though unverified, this tale amplifies the aura of a king with unmatched wisdom and mystery. Solomon's story continues to speak, warning us about the dangers of desire and the fragility of power. His journey, even marked by failure, ultimately draws us back to a central truth. Genuine purpose comes only from aligning our hearts with God. What might you discover about yourself by looking closer at Solomon's life? In the end, Solomon's life is both a beacon of wisdom and a cautionary tale. Though he was gifted with unparalleled understanding and unimaginable wealth, his heart was swayed, leading him down a path that threatened everything he had built. Solomon's story shows us that even the wisest among us are vulnerable when they stray from their principles. His downfall was not merely due to external forces, but the internal choices that prioritized desire and alliances over faithfulness. This complex legacy leaves us with a profound question.